Hello, everybody, and
Vamos.
welcome to the Captain's Quarters, the unofficial Star Trek Rewatch podcast, where we are rewatching the entire Star Trek franchise, starting at the beginning of the official chronology and working our way through. We've already finished Star Trek Enterprise. Now we're working through Star Trek Discovery. Today we're talking about Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 11, called Perpetual Inventory. Set a course for fun. Set your
Infinity.
set a course for infinity and set your phasers for fun. And my name's Gabe, and with my co-captain Jason. Make it so, Jason.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been too long, my friend.
Yeah, it's been, unfortunately, life gets in the way for the both of us sometimes.
Too much of it, to be honest. Yeah, it's been crazy, but I'm glad to be back. It's great to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too.
Good to be back in the captain's chair.
It's good to be back in the captain's quarters. Can't agree
Yeah.
more. What do you got on tap tonight?
I am drinking. Well, I just finished an athletic, non-alcoholic hazy IPA, and now I'm switching to
Okay.
Whole Foods
Nice.
365 pure sparkling.
Nice. Nice.
Are you drinking?
Neither of those are sponsors, but they could be.
Yeah, Whole Foods wants to sponsor us.
Reach out, Amazon. I
Mhm.
live in Seattle,
Yeah,
so, come on.
there you go.
I have so I have it's off frame, and so I'm not gonna, and out of reach, but I have a mochi. It's a it's a it's a Japanese carbonated beverage. So either yuzu juice based or tea based, and I have a matcha green tea, and it's
Okay.
carbonated, so it's great.
Okay. Wow.
They're like Japanese influence, but I think they're from California. So if they want to um
Oh, yeah.
sponsor us.
Okay. Does it taste like matcha tea?
Oh
It
yeah,
has.
yeah. It's just carbonated, which I love.
Is it sweetened?
No, this one's not.
Okay.
They do have one that's honey and like blue tea and yuzu and peach, passion fruit,
Okay.
a couple others.
Okay. I the unsweetened matcha carbonated drink that is hard to envision that being very like refreshing, but
Oh, it's delightful. It is delightful.
I'll take your word for it.
It is delightful. I love fizzy and I love matcha. So,
I like hot matcha.
oh, okay. You
Well,
don't
and
like
so
it cold?
no.
It's it's very refreshing. Cold matcha?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
All right.
so here's the thing, Jason and I were just talking about. So I'm going to Japan next week, and I've heard that the matcha ice cream is somebody literally said it's the greatest food dish on earth. So I have to get it, and I
It's
will.
up there. It's up there. Whoever said that, I'm not gonna disagree. It's delicious, but it's high
It
praise.
was another thing I was envisioning. I was like, okay, but obviously there's going to be sugar in it because it's ice cream.
Yeah.
So
But it is gonna be sweet, but it's not too sweet.
yeah, I can't envision it. So I'm really looking forward to this. So
Yeah, and then you have to get it with azuki beans and mochi.
okay, what are azuki beans?
Red beans.
Red beans.
Yeah, they're red beans in a sweetened
Are
in a little syrup, and then mochi balls.
okay.
Yeah, that's a
And what are
classic. It's a
what
classic.
cheese balls?
Oh, mochi balls. Yeah. What is it? Tapioca flour, and they're
Okay,
rolled into balls. You
okay,
mix it with water, roll it into balls,
okay.
steam,
Are,
boil them, and then they're like sticky and chewy and soft and all the goodness.
Are those the boogers that are in boba tea?
Yes,
Okay, got it.
but they're different. They're different. They're not colored, or they're not flavored usually in Japan. At
Okay,
this, they're just the tiny little white mochi bells.
okay. All right. Mochi balls and
Hmm.
azuki
Yep,
beans.
yep.
Okay,
And then
will
the
do.
other thing too, just because we're on this right now, you have to
Yeah.
go to a Japanese coffee shop.
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We can't function without coffee.
Okay,
So
okay. Yep, yep, yep. Okay.
I bet we'll hit at least, I don't, I want to say three per day, but it'll definitely be two per day.
Okay,
Just,
okay.
just because we need the caffeine because we're
Yeah,
so addicted.
totally. And then there's that jet lag thing of going
Yeah.
across the international date line. But
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So I'll be hitting up a lot of Nintendo stuff. I'm going to try to check out the Nintendo headquarters. You can't go in. You can just take a photo from across the street, which is fine. I'll take a selfie.
I'm sure there's a gate somewhere that it might be unmanned.
No, there's a guard there. I was just listening to a podcast, someone who was there last week, and there's a guard, and they definitely are aggressively monitoring it.
Ah, I got you. Okay.
So I'll be across the street, take a photo, and then, yeah, I didn't get tickets to the museum, but I'll go to the museum and take some photos outside, and then go to the Nintendo stores, and then
And like I said to him, like I said to you, like off Zoom, it's just another reason to go back.
yeah, exactly. So they did do a direct, which is the Nintendo like video showcase. They did a direct of the museum, and I feel like they really showed everything. So in that regard,
Oh, really?
yeah, I feel like I'm like, okay, I feel like I just saw everything, but could be wrong. I don't
You
know.
still got to go. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not the same in person. Can you
it's
still
true.
visit the store? I'm sure you can still visit the gift shop, right?
That's what I'm secretly hoping. When we go take the
Okay.
photos front, I'm hoping I can go into the gift shop.
Okay. Okay.
It'd be silly if they didn't let people in the gift shop, right? Because we've
Totally. Totally. Totally.
right? So I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Totally. Totally. I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah. So is there anything you need while we're there? Anything from Japan?
No, my parents just came back and we're planning an Asian trip next year, so I'm good.
Okay.
I appreciate though.
Yeah. Okay. Because I've got other people who've given me a list of stuff. So
Yeah, no, my parents just came back and got me some stuff, and we're planning a trip to Asia for the spring of 25, so we'll see. I'm good.
very cool.
If you said France or Italy, that would have been totally different.
Maybe next year. Okay. Let's do this.
Yep.
Okay. So Perpetual Inventory season two episode.
Infinity
What did I say? Oh, hey,
inventory.
hey, I'm an accountant. Okay. We talk about Perpetual Inventory
Yeah.
probably every week. So
I was about to say, I was like, this has got to be a work thing because
yeah,
that just rolled like right off your tongue, like
yeah, yeah.
twice.
Perpetual. Did I say it the first time through?
You did. You did.
Okay. Yikes. Sorry, everybody. We
No,
do
you're
these
good. You're
things.
good. I just don't want people to be like, what
No,
episode is he talking about?
I appreciate that. That Perpetual Infinity. Um, yeah, so yeah, we use perpetual inventory at work. So
I kind of figured that.
yeah, I deal with a lot of inventory. So I'll probably end up saying that again before this episode's over.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Anyway, synopsis via memory alpha fandom.com. Burnham receives the reunion she's been longing for, but it doesn't go quite as she imagined. Giorgio and Tyler sense a disturbing change in Leland.
Dun dun dun.
So these episodes are getting pretty complex. A lot happens. They're very fast paced
Yeah.
and they're just very dense.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to cover. So my way of dealing with it is be very vague and very high level
Okay.
and can delve into the things that we liked.
30,000 foot level. Okay. Yep. Definitely.
So last episode, they set a mouse trap to catch the Red Angel. They used Michael as bait,
Hmm.
brought her to the verge of death. The Red Angel came swooped in to save her. They used energy to trap the angel. It turned out to be Michael's mother. And initially, they thought the DNA match meant that it was Michael from the future, but it turns out the match was there because of the mitochondria DNA that they shared as mother and daughter. And so Burnham wakes up from her ordeal in sick bay, and the mother is separated from her and tells the crew she wants to talk to the captain, but no one else. And so a big part of this episode is Michael wanting to see her mother, who she hasn't seen in 15, 20 years, and her mother not wanting to talk to her. And we find out that her mother has been zipping around the continuum of time, set up headquarters on an M-class planet, Elysium, 50,000 light years away. And her whole thing is trying to stop Control from getting the data from the sphere. She's and so it's like an iterative thing for her. She tries something, it fails. She goes back, tries something else, and fails. And she keeps trying different things. And so the final iteration in this timeline is that she like used the gravity of the sphere to put it in Discovery's path or something so that they
Hmm.
would encounter it, hoping that they would figure out how to stop Control from getting the data because everything that she tried, Control was able to get the data and then use it to destroy all sentient Earth in the universe or sentient life in the universe. Um, and so at the beginning of the episode, her mother is like pretty cold to her. And I think that's, a bit of in Back to the Future when Marty tries to tell Doc about the night he went back and he's like, no, 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 you can't tell me. Like she's trying to like keep that separation because it could ruin things. And part of it too is
Hmm.
just her her style, I think her parenting style. And part of it too, I think, is just the visceral pain of just um dealing with the situation of how hard it's been for both of them. And I think it's just a really intense situation. And so at the same time, um, Leland is a now like puppet of Control, right? Um,
Um, he is Control. He
yeah,
is.
it's his
Yeah.
body, but it's Control who's steering the ship, but nobody
Yeah.
knows that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now he is trying to steer things in the direction of Control. Obviously, not being in command of Section 31, he has a lot of power. So he's a formidable enemy there. And yeah, I mean, so basically, Leland, they basically discover the truth. There's like a big shootout at the end. And um, the Red Angel escapes along with Sector 31, and Discovery is left in a situation where Control has the data. They don't have the Red Angel. They don't have Section 31. The only thing they have is Tyler. And there's this other component of it where the Red Angel is like tethered to her spot in the future. And so there's like an energy wall separation between the mom and Michael. And so even though she's there, she's in a bubble. And like if the bubble collapses, she just gets sucked back into the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that that Discovery was going to get sucked with the Red Angel into the future. I thought that was going to be what brought them into the future.
Mm-hmm.
But the way this episode ends, it ends on an uncertain note of Spock says something to the effect of instinct and logic will work together to to right to right this situation,
Mm-hmm.
and like have faith in that, um and we don't know what that means, and so that's kind of how the episode ended. So that, yeah, that was the high level, skipping all the details, synopsis.
That was great.
A great quote before I forget, a quote from Hamlet. I believe Spock says it. He says, "Time
He
is out of
does.
joint. Oh, cursed spite that I was born to set it right."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
A very,
Great
I mean,
scene.
yeah,
Act
very
2, Scene
apt.
3, I believe.
Wow. Very apt quote in this episode. I mean, I know they quote Shakespeare often in Star Trek,
They
but I
do.
mean,
Yeah.
this one is just right on the head. So
Mm.
anyway, what'd you think, buddy?
Uh, you know, this one was a little tough for me. Again, standalone. I think it's, I thought, okay, let me just say this. It is a fantastic episode in my mind if I take it out of the context of Star Trek.
Okay.
Um, there were just some things that I the Red Angel suit built in 21, or I'm sorry, yeah, in 2157 or
Mm,
whatever this is.
yeah. Yeah.
I yeah, I have challenges with that concept that, oh my gosh, in 100 years, in 130 years from now, we'll be able to build a time suit. Um,
Right.
and I don't know if I can separate that because I'm not sure if I can even, because we're not even, you don't see any of those kinds of that kind of tech, even into the next generation or Deep Space Nine or
Right.
Voyager, to let alone talk about it in 20 in the pre-Kirk and Spock era. Um,
Right.
I thought it was because I have a very difficult time with this one because it's a great sci-fi episode. It's a
Hmm.
great science fiction episode. I love that she's tethered to the year whatever it was, 3186 or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
And that there's this yo-yo force that keeps pulling her back. And I thought that was an absolutely heartbreaking like force field that she puts up to not
Hmm.
wanting to see Michael.
Yeah.
Is like she'll have a moment and go and then be tethered right back until she
Hmm.
can stop this the stop Control from taking over the sphere and whatever her destiny is, and her being tied to the suit and Red Angel. And I love the callback that she's on Terralisium, that planet that a couple episodes ago where we, New Eden, that's the planet, right? That's the
Yeah,
planet that that colony is set up for. And I'm really, really interested in seeing then who were the seven signals?
sure.
Who is that, right? It
Yeah,
um yeah, so I'm interested. I'm gonna be really excited to find out about that. But really from what you were going to, like, the Back to the Future analogy, I think it was just, for me, it was just putting up that shield and being like, I can't talk to you. I want to talk to you, but I don't, because I know I'm gonna lose you in however long it takes for the yo-yo to pull me back to, the year
yeah,
3000.
yep.
In the year 3000.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know where that's from. I was doing that the entire episode. I was like, where is that from? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. The that is the fatal flaw of this show because I really love this show, but the continuity of technology is just a mess. You know, I wish they would have Rogue One it where they were like making this super modern movie, but then having little like plastic buttons and stuff on it.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's great science fiction. I love it. It just it tugs. I'm like, it's just not, there's many aspects of it where it's like it's not a Star Trek episode. It's not a Star, yeah. And that's to no fault of the story, the characters. That's all. I love them all. It's just it just doesn't, it's a great science fiction television show.
Yeah. Hmm. I agree. Um, so can we talk about New Eden?
Yeah.
So it was a pre-warp colony, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were the ones who had basically made a religion
Yes,
around
sir.
technology.
Yep.
And they had, like, so Pike ended up trading, he like wanted their tech. They had something, it was like a recording or something of their founding, I guess it was. Um, but that when Gabrielle Burnham, I don't know her
Gabrielle
name.
Burnham. Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's
Gabrielle
bringing
Burnham.
people to Elysium. That's in the future, right?
Yes. Yes.
I'm having a hard time reconciling New Eden's founding and the connection to the Red Angel, but then her actions are in the future. Is she somehow influencing Michael's time when she's bringing people there in the future, or is it just too independent?
So,
Uh,
yeah, I don't know if we know that answer, and
okay,
yeah, I don't know if we know that answer yet, and that's part of why I'm excited, because I think that's gonna be addressed, hopefully, uh, in you know, in the, I mean, how, I mean, we have what, 3 episodes to go in season 2,
yeah,
and then we break away from Discovery because I believe at the end of season 2, that's when they go into the future, and we break away to, Strange New Worlds or the original series or whatever series is after this, um, because that's going to break the chronology. But I think it's something else. My guess, my guess is that they find a way. Okay, let's set the stage here. So the Red Angel suit and Gabrielle Burnham at the end gets the containment field that they're putting up
Yeah.
collapses and she gets yo-yoed back to the future.
Hmm. Hmm.
1985. No. 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 So I think they have that Discovery has done enough research because I think in this episode or in the last one they were downloading information on the suit about the suit and they were kind of studying it as well. So that gives me the impression that I'm gonna really go out on a limb here. I think they build another one.
Oh boy.
And I think that's how they get back to the future. That's how I think that's how I think Michael takes them to the future. Is that she sets a time beyond Control's uh abilities at the moment, and she takes the sphere data that's in Discovery to the future. And that's how we end up there. I am not certain. It's a guess, and I could be so wrong.
Don't they need a time crystal though?
Yeah, I know, and that's where my logic kind of fails a little bit. Do they do a Star Trek 4 and slingshot around the sun? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But I think that's how they end up in the future. They have to get the sphere data away from Control and they have to send the ship Discovery into the future, and that's how they do it. To talk about
Why do they have to send the ship in the future?
right. So the sphere data has got 900 years worth of data from the future.
Yeah.
So if they're not going to destroy Discovery, which would make it easier, I guess, and just build a new ship,
Yeah.
but then you'd lose all that like data, but you've got Control and Leland chasing after you. I think you have to send the ship 1,000 years or 900 years into the future where it can't be
Oh, I see.
gotten,
Got
it can't
it. Okay.
be retrieved by Control or captured, I should say.
Right, right. Yeah, that makes sense. You're hiding it in the future. Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's how we get to the future. I don't know that for certain, but it was, I'm like, oh, they're giving us hints and stuff and building it that way. And that's what it feels like. Is that they're going to build another suit. And then I think in some way, Michael does. See, I don't know though. And I'm talking way too much, but that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. But I mean, they'd still be tethered to the present if they did it that way.
No, but if they design the new suit, I don't think there would be a tethering. And that's where I get a little lost as like why the Red Angel suit is tethered and anchored to
To the
one
future.
specific place in time.
Yeah, because it was created in the present. Don't you think it'd be
Yes.
anchored to the present instead of anchored to
Yes.
the future? Yeah,
Or you can just jump around and stay there like the
yeah.
time machine. But again, this is new time travel stuff, so I have no idea. And I may have missed it. They may have said in some Star Trek space gobbledygook
Yeah,
language like, and it's tethered.
that's the problem with the show. Like I was saying, it's so dense. And like a lot of times the explanation is part of like again, a quick line, a gobbledygook line,
Yeah,
and you can miss it.
right.
And even if you get the gist of it when they're saying it, when you do what you and I are doing, we're trying to dissect it. We're like,
Yeah. And unfortunately I just don't remember if they did. They may have, I don't know.
so I'm reading the entry for New Eden. So at the end of New Eden, so Pike gives them an energy cell for the helmet camera. He takes it back to Discovery. Pike examines the helmet camera footage and stares in astonishment as he sees the angel in the doorway of the church just as the video ends in static. So we don't really know then,
We don't. We don't.
because there was an interesting component of New Eden, which is that they didn't even really have electricity, and yet they traveled 50,000 light years away, refugees from World War III.
Right, 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 right.
You travel that far, but you're pre-warp and you don't have, like, this doesn't make sense. And I guess it didn't really sink in at the time we talked about it, that we didn't know exactly what happened. We never really got the answer.
No, we did not. No.
Okay. And we didn't get the answer in this episode either. We know she's
No,
bringing
no, I
there.
don't. Yeah, we don't. And hopefully, like, this is episode number 11, and in modern TV production, what do we've got? Like 3 or 4 more episodes to go. We're
Yeah.
almost done, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I hope, I mean, I think we'll get it. We'll get those answers by the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Because I do believe from like hearsay and Star Trek fans and other places that I have, like, season 2, at the end of season 2, it is where they do go into the future,
Yeah.
and that will break away and come back and discover way, way, yeah,
Way down the line. Yep.
yeah, way down the line. After we've gotten Mandalorian and Grogu
Hmm.
films 4, 5, and 6, probably.
Probably. Although I heard that the movie is going to be the end of the Mandalorian franchise,
Oh,
still appearances in.
oh, is that how the? Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, so I guess we covered this one. What rating would you give this one? I think I'd give it. I'll do mine first.
Yeah, please.
I I appreciate the choices that were made with the relationship between Gabrielle and Michael.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that there's a plot hole or it's wrong, but I don't. You know me. I'm just a softie. I like the emotional stuff,
yeah,
and the coldness of her mom. You know, if and through her iterations she's encountered Michael. I think she said, I've watched you die and stuff like that. Like, it's not
yeah.
the
Oh,
first
yeah,
time
yeah, yeah,
it's.
yeah, yeah. And that's why I think, and that's why it's a great explanation
Yeah.
of why she is cold to her, and
Yeah.
yet deep down inside, you feel like you wish you could break this cycle, but you have a destiny to get the sphere data to in safe hands and out of Control's hands.
Yeah.
And you're going to get snapped back into the
Mhm.
future. And it's a great it's a fantastic coping mechanism about loss and stuff.
Yeah.
No
Protecting
question
harm.
about that.
Because if you were to let yourself feel that in that moment, and then it all gets undone by snapping back, there's only so much you could take of that. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why it's like a shield, a force field, or whatever that she puts up to protect herself. I
Yeah.
totally get that.
Yeah. I just There's just something about it that it was just too heartbreaking to watch Michael
Oh my
have to go
gosh,
through.
yes. Oh my gosh, yes, yes.
And so for that, I'm giving the episode a 74%.
Okay. So I'm gonna do something that I don't think I've done before. As a Star Trek episode,
Oh,
I'm giving this a Lieutenant 1 pip.
okay.
As a Time Raider, Battlestar Galactica, other sci-fi genre episode kind of deal.
Sure.
Remove the Starfleet pin badges and slap on something else, like, the
Sure.
space exploration of Earth or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
I would totally give it a 90, like a 90% Rotten Tomatoes or whatever you want to call it rating.
Sure. Sure.
Because
Yeah.
again, it is a beautiful science fiction episode.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, not a Star Trek episode.
Got it.
The time suit, the Red Angel, the containment field, the mother being tethered to the future, and having moments, and then and man, the way that control, like, injects itself into Leland's head and
Mhm.
his eyes go black, and
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, that is great science fiction television. um and with
Yep.
Tyler and Giorgio, like, is this a thing? Is this who he is this what we're doing? That kind of deal. And then at the end, Spock, coming back and telling her, you know we'll figure this out, it's gonna be okay, we're going to do this together. Those moments are beautiful. And again, I don't want to come off as this, curmudgeon, and, oh, he's grumpy about Star Trek, he's grumpy about Discovery again. um take that away, science fiction, great episode.
Totally agree, man. And I'm glad you brought up the Leland thing because it was a nanotechnology. It was like technology at the like biological blood level that was doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I think I've asked you this before. Do you think there's a connection between control and
The
the
Borg.
they seem
I
very
don't.
similar?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't think so, but it's a possibility. I mean, it
Okay.
is a new possibility, like, that this era of Star Trek introduces us to that. I I'm a little weary because, you know, in the Star Trek universe, usually, yes, there are some connections and parallels, like the Akamarians and another race, or another one. The Romulans and Vulcans are cousins, basically. It- but outside of a couple of examples, there are so many other species in the Star Trek universe where they're not related whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I'm weary if it is, but if it's an interesting tie-in, I'm, you know, probably
Sure.
okay with it, but I would like to see it separate. And I
Yeah.
do the same thing in the Star Wars universe, right?
Right.
That's my thing, right? I'm like, does she really have to be a Skywalker? Does she really have
Yeah.
to be a Palpatine? All that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. I'm like, this galaxy's big enough to, like, tell more stories.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. And I do feel like we've been doing this enough now where anytime I try to make that connection, it ends up being like, no, this is just an episodic, it's a very episodic series where
Yes.
the thing, and there's only so many varieties of aliens you can have. And like a lot of them are going to be similar. And, you know, it doesn't mean they're connected. It's just
Yeah.
like if you're going to have a tech-based antagonist, they're going to have some resemblance to the Borg,
Yeah.
but not closing the door on it. But
No, not at all. I mean,
that's possible.
again, it's this Discovery era of Star Trek is a little different, so you never know. You never know. Like,
Yeah. Mhm. And I still like to think that the sphere is from the expanse. It's one of the spheres from there.
could be, could be, could be.
And I feel like that one will never get confirmed or denied. And so that's just my own headcanon to
So that's interesting you say that because you said Archer was someone recently in the Star Trek universe did say if they were going to get another season that it was a possibility that that was revealed that Archer was the Time Lord and he
yeah.
was trying to fix
Yep.
whatever it was.
Hmm. Yep.
So I heard that recently and I'm like, Gabe was right. If we would have gotten season 6, yes, season 6.
Wasn't it five? I think we did 4 seasons.
Oh, was it only 4 seasons of the Star Trek Enterprise? Okay. Sorry. Start season 5 then. My mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. Season 5. If
Yeah.
we would have gotten a season
I think
5, you
heard
would have
that.
you would have been doing the "I told you so" dance.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Brandon Braga said that in like a panel or something.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
I think I don't know if a fan asked him or if they were just doing like a debrief. They were like, because in that time when that show ended, the sentiment that I read was that it wasn't just the end of Enterprise, it was the end of Star Trek,
Yeah.
televised Star Trek.
Yeah. Sure.
And it wasn't until this new era of investment and everything where it was revitalized, and now we have a ton of it. But at the time, the feeling was like
Yes.
this franchise is done.
Yes.
And I in the debriefing of that, he Berman or him said something to the effect of what you just said. If we had had another season, at first, like when we did it, we didn't know the answer, but then at one point we decided it was Archer, even though we didn't know we were gonna like do anything with it. And he's like, and now I'm just gonna come out and say it because I might as
Oh,
well.
okay. Okay.
And,
Okay.
like he's like, I like kind of to the effect of like, I'm just deciding on the spot that yeah, it's Archer.
Okay. Okay. Actually, to go one further, it for all of the criticism and all the complaint that I have for J.J. Abrams, I must say he was the one when Star Trek 2009 came out. It garnered this like fandom again. It re-energized the thing. The not the fandom. The fandom has always been there, but the
Yeah.
producers,
Mhm.
the uppers of wherever studio Paramount, that's
Right.
where it actually came from, not this new iteration of Discovery and Strange New Worlds and all that. It actually, the credit does go to J.J. Abrams in 2009.
Man, did that hurt saying that?
No, 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 no. No. It is. I I give respect where it is due, and that's where it should belong. It does belong with J.J. Abrams.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. So thanks, JJ Abrams
No,
for
yeah,
doing
no,
something.
yeah, absolutely.
And so yeah, and then like when are we gonna do the Kelvin timeline? Is that at the very, very, very end? We'll finish this timeline and then we'll go back and do the Kelvin one.
I mean, Ooh, I think we have to talk about that. I'm like, are we ready to do a movie?
Yeah, we can do a movie.
I know you've done movies in another podcast that you've done. Um, my instinct is, yeah, that it actually that it is a while from now. Mm, because you don't want to be talking about, like, let's say the original series and then drop Star Trek 2009 in there, because then you're like, wait a minute, what, Kirk? Wait, what, Spock? What? Huh? Um, yeah, it's interesting because it does play a role in sort of the regular timeline, because they just made it canon basically. Um, yeah, we'll see.
Well, here's an interesting thought, Jason.
Yeah,
So the episode we're talking about today, Perpetual Infinity,
yeah.
in-universe date, I believe is 2257.
2257. Yeah, okay.
Star Trek 2009, in-universe date, I think is 2258.
Okay.
So like that would be one way to look at it.
Yeah,
Even though
we could.
there's spots,
Yeah,
there's you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
They're
We could
intersected
end
by.
season 2 and then watch and then do Star Trek 2009. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I mean, I want to do this right, if it truly, because I'm just reading those dates I just gave are from Memory Alpha, but both of them
Yeah.
give ranges. Like, it's complicated. Like, for some reason, this one, well, okay, the reason it gives a range is because it says 2236 to 3186. And I guess maybe this episode had a flashback to Burnham's childhood,
Yes, it did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Because
obviously
it's
3186.
when mom comes back, right? She
Yeah.
sees her with Spock and she sees her as a kid, and yeah, all those little memories. Definitely.
Yeah, but then I mean, the movie gives multiple dates. So like it has like one date, 2258, but then it also says 2233, 2240s, 2055, and 2387.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I guess via flashbacks and
Yep.
but um
Yeah,
so again, I want to do it right. If we are going to do this way, I want to make sure we get it right.
sure.
I think it takes a little bit of homework to figure out like what exactly that is.
Like, the interesting thing that it says in Memory Alpha, that's interesting because Discovery is supposed to take place 10 years before Kirk and Spock. 15 years? 10 or
That's
15?
what I think that's what you've told me.
Yeah, so it is interesting that Star Trek 2009 takes place at exactly around here, and yet Kirk and Spock. No, that actually kind of makes sense, even in universe, because they'd be just coming out of the academy ish. I mean, Kirk is coming out of the academy, and Spock has been in Starfleet for a while. Yeah, so that does make, yeah, that does make some sense in the Kelvin universe. Yeah, totally. Okay, yep, never mind.
And I think we can agree that like an episode can touch multiple years,
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
there's an intuitive answer to when the episode takes place. Like for instance,
Right.
this episode takes place
I
2257, even though it has spots that touch other ones.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it as, from a podcast, like,
Yeah,
you know, production. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
podcast like where does this fit, right? Like at the end, and then we like give Star Trek '09 its own thing, and then give it its own space, and then start Strange New Worlds and give it
Right.
that space.
But then we have to figure out what to do with the other three Abrams movies.
Right, right.
So we'll have to monitor the dates closely. Right now, I think we're safe.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think I don't know that movie well enough. 2009. I remember the red Corvette. I think it was like a wasn't it like Stingray like body
Mm-hmm.
style?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
A 66, 67, 68.
yeah, that's pretty much all I remember. But
That's about right.
yeah, but like okay, I think that was maybe before the Academy. That scene,
Yeah, that's when he was like a little kid.
right? And so just again, intuitively, that movie does not take place in that time frame. Like it's just something you just kind of know. The movie takes place in the present, which is him after Academy and stuff like that. Even
Yeah,
though they
yeah,
have
yeah.
a
But
scene,
unfortunately, it's in an alternate timeline, right?
right? But I'm just thinking, like, as far as like the timelines are parallel, but there's these like bisecting lines of
Sure, 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 sure.
years.
Sure, sure,
Yeah,
sure, 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 sure,
it's,
sure,
it's
sure,
2057, and then we're gonna hit
sure.
2258,
Yeah,
and we're gonna jump down to another timeline, but we'll still
yeah,
be in the right year.
yeah. You're
Does that
thinking
work?
of it as in the Baroque era of music,
Oh boy.
right? Where it's harmonies. Whereas in the Renaissance period, it was melodies, right? The music ran this way, where the Baroque era runs this way, and there's
There,
tension inside the music. Oh
I
God,
like
I just
that.
made a music analogy.
That's very elegant. I like that. It's beautiful.
No, you did actually. You made the musical analogy. Not
Okay.
me.
Okay.
Sorry,
It's all
yeah,
good.
sorry. Classical music fans here. So,
I appreciate
yeah.
it. All right, my man. Well, anything else with this one?
About this episode, not that I can think of. I think we've
O-
covered it.
Okay. Um, okay. And then we haven't talked since the man James Earl Jones passed away. Rest in peace to the
Yep.
GOAT.
Yep.
Just the
Beyond
best.
Darth Vader,
Yeah.
what were your what
I
was his stuff?
yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know that I knew that much of his work beyond Sandlot.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, he's just to me, he's just Darth Vader. So
Okay.
yeah. Oh, I mean, and obviously, Mufasa, right?
Yep, The Lion King. Yep, absolutely.
But like to be honest, when I was a kid, I didn't know that that was Darth Vader's voice. Like, to me, it was just a standard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't until much later that I even knew that he did that.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, no. Um, yeah, oof. 93, but still sad. And what a life.
yeah. Hmm.
So, like,
Yeah.
Roots, uh,
I saw Roots when I was very young.
okay,
I mean, probably 9 years old.
okay, okay,
Don't remember it at all.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
My grandpa was stealing HBO with like
okay.
one of those old boxes where they were like, you know, they were like Jimmy rigged boxes that you would buy like on the black market, and they would
Okay.
descramble all the pay-per-view and stuff,
Okay.
and so Roots on that thing because it's a mini series, right? Roots,
Yeah.
it's multiple
Yeah.
entries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
some watched the whole thing, but I don't really remember much other than a horrible scene of him being captured.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean for me, um, Lion King, Mufasa, obviously. Roots, Field of Dreams as Terrence Mann. If you build it, Ray, they will come. Um, Admiral James Greer from the from the Hunt for Red October.
oh wow, okay, yeah.
Coming to America, King Joffrey. I mean, I it's been a tough week for us, because John Amos, Percy Fitzwells on the West Wing, also passed away. Apparently he passed away in like August and his family didn't announce it until like yesterday or something.
Oh,
But like, Mr. McDowell and the King, Joffrey. I mean, they're both gone now. From Coming to America. It's yeah, ugh. Yeah.
rest in peace, one of the
Yes.
greats. Yeah, and then also Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter, Maggie
Yeah.
Smith.
Dame Maggie Smith. I know. I know. Wendy from Hook. Uh there was this movie that she did way back when, and she was a school teacher. And I've been meaning to look it up, but that was one of my first introductions to Maggie Smith.
Harry
And then
Potter.
as a little kid, she played Wendy in Hook. And then obviously the Dowager Countess on Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. Yeah. Um,
An interesting one. She passed away a year to the day that Sir Michael Gambon, um, Dumbledore, the second Dumbledore, passed
yeah,
away.
second one. Yeah,
On To the day. I think they were both September 28th or 7th. I'm sorry that I don't remember it. 2003, and then obviously Dame Maggie Smith 2003, 2023, and 2024. Yeah.
yeah. Crazy, man.
To the day, the two headmasters. Amazing.
There's a lot of Harry Potter actors who have died.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's it hurts, man.
Yeah,
I mean, Robbie Coltrane,
yeah,
John Hurt, Alan Rickman.
yeah. And then I don't think you ever got into Peaky Blinders, but um
Too violent for me.
yeah, the matriarch of
Oh, Helen McCrory.
Ellen McCrory, because she was also in Harry Potter.
I
She was
loved
one of
Helen
the
McCrory. I
Malfoys.
loved her from other stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah, Helen McCrory. I can't believe I forgot Helen McCrory. But yeah, that was ugh, that one hurts. That one hurt too.
I was surprised they kept doing Peaky Blinders after her because she was such a huge part of it. But they did a whole season without her. So,
Mm, tough.
yep.
And then the other one, recently in the sports world, I know Pete Rose, but the one that was a kick to the stomach for me was Dikembe Mutombo. That one was tough.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm like 58. Come on, Mount
Yeah.
Mutombo. Come on, man. Come on.
Hmm.
That one hurts.
Yep. All right. Well, that concludes our in memoriam
Yeah.
section of the show. But we got to do it, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, next time we talk, I will be
It'll be a
back
couple
from Japan.
weeks. Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
be speaking Japanese and drinking ramune and wanting ramen and sushi and all that and katsu.
Hmm. So if I that that Japanese soft drink, what was the brand?
Ramune.
Or Ramune? Okay. All right. I'll keep an eye out while I'm there.
You not just keep an eye out, but keep an eye out for the curry flavored one.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That does not sound.
Because ramune is just it's ubiquitous, like it's all over the place.
Yeah,
But look for the more interesting Asian flavors.
that does not sound good, but I'll see what I
You
can do, buddy.
never know. You never
I'll see
know. I'm not gonna say anything and sway and I'm gonna try not to sway your opinion on that one.
what cold matcha. Okay.
It's delicious.
Okay. To me, matcha is like medicinal. It's be hot, and it's like
It's not medicinal at all.
the heat of it, and the it's like if you have a cold, hot
You're not
matcha
supposed to
is like
actually you're actually not supposed to drink it like that hot. Like 180 degrees as at tops. Tops.
180.
Yeah, but I mean, we drink
That's
coffee at like we drink tea at 212, at 210, 208. We drink coffee at 208.
okay. All right.
It's not, I mean, it's hot, but it's not like hot hot.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Are you gonna break and have a beverage here and there?
Yeah, that was the plan all along. So I don't want to miss out while I'm there. So, but I might still temper myself
Sure. Sure.
and just keep it to like one per day or something
Not
like
too many
that.
drams of Japanese whiskey.
Right. Um, yeah, and I've been watching a lot of Japanese like anime.
Oh boy.
But I also watched Lost in Translation. I never realized because I had seen that movie many, many years ago.
It's a great
I
movie. It's a
I
great
didn't
movie.
realize it was like one big advertisement for Suntory.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I, I gotta say, I think it might have ruined Suntory for me because it like portrays it as the like cheesy commercial thing. Um, and so
But that's part of the culture though, right? That's part of that's I don't want to come off as like but that is I don't want to come off as ignorant or or like racist or anything like that, but like if that kind of shtick is part of Japanese advertising
shit.
culture, actually.
Yeah. Well, we'll
It's
see.
not a yeah.
But like like Scotch to me has none of that, and like it has like a I don't know stoicism or something around it.
Nick
And
Offerman with Lagavulin, I mean,
oh, I don't know.
oh
Does he have for them?
yeah, yeah. I mean, Nick Offerman has got his own. He's got the Offerman like he's got his own Lagavulin.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not
Yeah.
okay. So I don't know. Because I was like, man, I'm gonna drink Suntory the whole time I'm there, but now I'm like, maybe not. I'll definitely drink some, but I'm not gonna go nuts. But some of these other drinks you're bringing up, I'll give them a shot, and
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
report.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening. Follow us on all this stuff wherever you get podcasts, and subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on X, FKA Twitter. And we appreciate it. And until next time, live long and prosper.
And may the force be with you.